Hey, I'm on. Let's do this thing. Okay, I gotta do one thing real quick. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that, guys. Something that came up. I apologize. Now we're gonna get into. I'm gonna do two games that I played just recently, just today. One was the France variation, the French variation. I wanted to show you how I used it and took advantage of the how the French uh, advanced variation is beautiful. I want to show it to you. Yeah, he's trying to go for it, so I do the. This is just the standard French right here. Then that's the advanced variation. And I thought to myself, hey, you know what? You know what? Before he could get this set up here, I want to take, because he actually made a mistake. You don't play this first. You actually play that first and then that. So when your opponent, when you're the person you're playing makes a mistake, oops, sorry, take advantage of it. Like when I did this, I went bam, I went boom. I took advantage of it. Bring my knight in. He brings it in. He's taken. Now, do you see how my structure is good? Yes. I have 2 versus 1 in the center. He's got more space. The imbalance is I have 2 bishops. Actually, I have 1 huge pawn island. And I have 1 isolated pawn. That's the disadvantage for me. His disadvantage is he's got an overextended pawn, or imbalance, as Jeremy Silman would say, and he's in a pretty big problem here. I'm going to be able to play here. He plays knight there, and I just develop because I'm like, you know what? I see a weakness. That the E5 pawn's a weakness. He plays bishop G5, which pins the knight, of course. I could have played here, and actually that's what I did. I played H6 for one reason, to attack the bishop, kicking it off of the diagonal of here. I don't want him to go back here to guard this. What he plays is back there, and then now I drop queen b6. This is attacking here. Also, the pin is no longer in effect, so I can move here if I needed to, and it's all in my favor right now. His pawn is closed to the back rank for the. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yep, that is right. He is close to the back rank. But if you notice that I am attacking, see, that was a mistake on his part. What he should have done is either played here. He should have played b3. Let me see, what else could he might have even been able to play a4. I know that's kind of off, but the move that he played, it allowed him to castle. See, but the only problem is he goes down a pawn and attacks the knight. So when I take there, he's attacking, my queen's attacking the knight. It does look like I'm slightly overextending with my queen, but remember, if you can grab a pawn and get and do it safely, go right ahead. He plays there now. That's actually what he should have played before back here. If he was going to play it, he should have played it there. And then what could have happened is he could have played b3 there, and there's nothing that could kick his knight out once it comes here. But he did it in. So what I see is, you know what? He just unleashed the ability for me to win another pawn. So I'm up now 2 pawns. Actually, yeah, 2 pawns. I'm preparing to play play f4. The reason f4 is it's forking the two pieces. He could play here, and what I decided was, do I want to actually do that? And he moves, and I was thinking, do I want to risk this? Because I was looking at here, and then I saw pawn to c6, queen f4. It does fork, but well, I guess that does win material, doesn't it? Now that I think about it, huh? Wow, I thought that it wouldn't work because of here, but it actually that does win material, because there's no way he can defend both of those. I was looking at here, I didn't calculate any further. That's actually very, very strong. Yeah, he could take. Oh, true. Yep, that is true. Yeah, so that's though I was right on that. It was a 10-minute game, and so I was like, I had to. I had to go on my understanding. I was like, it's not worth risking losing a knight, because I'm 2 pawns up. I now have the ability to. I could play bishop to d6, and if he castles, actually he can't castle. So probably bishop d6 or bishop e7. So he takes, I take, and now this is a potential idea. So he plays there, so that now I still have that, and I do play it. I play queen to f4, because this time though I am forking a bishop and a pawn, so I'm going to be winning something. Yes, he's guarding the knight, but if you notice, the knight really can't go any. It really only has 2 squares that the knight could go to, which is c3 and b2. So maybe there, but it was kind of crazy, and I was like, I had to think, and this was a critical. That's why Jeremy Silman and a lot of the grandmasters that teach say moves that you automatically know, so that you can get to these critical points. This was a critical point because I had to think to myself, do I want to take a bishop? I could win material, or do I take back here and not have a weakness on my king side, on the king? And I was thinking, do you know what? I'm going to win material. Let's see what I could do with it. And so I check first, because I want to get my bishop outside the pawn chain. This bishop's actually the bad bishop in the French. So if you can get your light square bishop outside, it becomes a good bad bishop, or a good active, a bad active bishop. So he moves, and then I take the bishop, because I already know he's going to play pawn takes c6. he does that. I now bring my rook over, attacking the queen. I need to get castled. If I can get castled here, I am set to win this game because I'm up a pawn and a piece. So that's a lot of material when you go into endgame. His king at the moment is actually, it's funny, it's safer at the moment than mine. Because yes, he's blocking in a piece, but if you notice that there's a potential there, should he play pawn takes E because C, let's see. Should he play E6? Oh, pawn takes. Oh, right here. Interesting. Yeah. And then I take back, and then there's two weaknesses. Yeah, he could do that, but what he wanted to do is get a pass pawn. See, in his mind, that my opponent that's playing this, he's going with principles. The principle is if he could take here, he can get a pass pawn. But that is a good idea. That is a potential isolated pawn. Would be good if we had equal material. But at this moment, he's down one whole piece and a pawn. He gets it back, so I have 3 pawns advantage. And he wants to get something for his loss of a piece. That's why he takes to get a pass pawn. But you have to make sure that the pawns that you do that are passed could actually queen. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, and like when he did this, it's a great idea that my opponent played. Excellent, he's an excellent player. He understands making a weakness that I have to worry about. Kind of puts somewhat of a burden on me. I have to now worry about C7. I have a little bit to worry about. Maybe queen D2, queen D2, rook comes over. You know, maybe even here, I don't think that's a good idea. But one weakness he has to get over is his rook on H1. That's out of place. So some grandmasters count when a piece is out of play. That actually benefits towards you. So if we were going to say that this was out of play, I'm up 8 pawns. And so and he plays there. That's actually a really good move that he played. He has to stay in contact with here because my queen will win the knight if he moves off this diagonal. That's actually why I played rook D8. It allowed me to develop, and he plays. I think to myself, in this situation, how you analyze a game without engine. Do you use the engine? Anything you missed? Oh yes, I do. Yes, I do. And some of this I have, but some of it I haven't. I need to go through and see, because I like going. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is go over your losses. Yeah, that's. I think it was. I don't know if it was Simon. I think it might have been Simon Williams or one of the grandmasters that I've been listening to. Says that you should first do your best to describe the ideas, and then apply it to the engine to see if you're right. And Jeremy Silman says that you need to have a plan. And my plan when I moved from queen h4 to c4 is that when this gets traded off, I'll be going into an endgame. This now, we talked about it, that passed pawns, isolated passed pawns, become weaker the more pieces come off the board. So my opponent would want to keep the pieces on the board, but he has to take. It's kind of one of those things. If he doesn't take, I guess he could play queen c3, because he actually moved queen to b2, and that was a mistake. I think it might have been a mouse slip, because he probably was trying to go queen b3, so I don't think he meant to play that. I think that was an accident. He probably was going to play here, but he probably was like moving the piece, going like, and then all of a sudden it slipped and it went to the wrong spot. But he played really good, so he understood the principle of pass pawns, and at this point I was up 7 pawns, 2 pieces and a pawn. He moves there. I move my rook in front of the pawn, because the best thing to do is we talked about isolated pawns. You want to stop them. You get in front of it, then you attack it. That's how you defeat an isolated pawn. He comes down. I would love to take, but if I take, he could take back, and I really don't have to worry because my bishop protects the rook. My idea is either to play here, here, and then castle, and then it's game over. I play there, he takes, bishop takes, he goes, he's trying to come sliding down here to take advantage of my weakness of my bishop on c8. But one thing I have is the move. It's important because when I castle, now my rook guards the bishop, so even if he does come down to b8, he can't take this ever because my rook would take back. He tries to get his other rook involved, his h1 rook. But I decide, you know what, I could take this because it's kind of looks funny. It's like, yes, but you could take it. Can he play rook over? Yes, but I can move my rook, my bishop, because he sacrifices queens for the rook. That was yeah. Well, he was getting down to time. I had like 3 or 4 minutes, and he was like in the seconds. So, he got kind of a little scared. That's why you have to work sometimes when you're in time pressure, not to get overextended in how you think. Don't be fearful, because you want, if you get to a point, you get to the best spot in the game, and then all of a sudden time trouble hits, and one inaccuracy, you go to a draw, and that's a pain. I've had that happen before. It's not fun. He goes c1, and then I play queen to e4. The reason I'm going queen e4 is I want to play bishop to b7. Oh yeah, bishop b7 is huge because it threatens mate. It threatens mate. I don't even mind it. We'll just say he plays. We'll say he plays here. I don't even mind if he queens here because I have checkmate. I have checkmate there. I have checkmate there. So there's and I saw all the way to the end. He saw that, and so he resigned when I moved here. And that was one of my games. That was I actually played this one on chess.com, and I took the file and I brought it over, and I wanted to go over it with you guys. So this is a really good one that I used to French. This one is, I haven't really played this opening before, so we're gonna we'll take a look at one more. Let's see, d4. I was thinking about playing here, but I thought, you know what, why not play e3, and if he takes, then I take back, and then I still could play this. He didn't do that because Simon Williams talked about in the London. There's a way you can actually push d5, and then what if rook c? Okay, what if rook? Okay, rook. Oh, c here. Okay, and bishop b7. Oh, bishop b7, and then pawn f3. pawn f3 is a good idea. There's mate. It does stop this mate here. So that mate that we had last time when the pawns was like this doesn't happen. That's why, yeah, that is a possible play, but there's mate. Then let's see, what else could he play here? Maybe he can move his king. Yeah, then you could take here. And if he see, he's got 2 spots he can go to. Actually 1 spot here. Let me see. Okay. Maybe. Let's see if there a faster mate idea anywhere here. Let's see. I think bishop checks. Then let's see. Maybe check there, because that takes away that. He has 3 spots he can go to. Here. Actually, I'm sorry, 2. So if he goes here, we can check. 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 Maybe not check there. I think check does, and then he moves there. Let's see. Is there any way we can force a well, we could play at this point here that does checkmate, because even if he queens, you have mate there. So let's see. Now we know where that leads. This move over here. So let's check this move out here. Oh, I'm sorry. Gotta go back. Okay. So you were saying not okay. F3. Okay. Sorry, I didn't see that. I was thinking of the other lines. Okay. That is interesting. F3. F3 is pretty interesting of an idea. Pawn F3. Let's see. We still have a check. Or do we want to check? There's 2 checking spots. We could we can't take, so here. We could even, I think best might be a fork, now that I think about it. Yeah, then G2, and then, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that was a total losing position there. But yeah, I hope did I answer all your questions on why like here or here? Do you have any other questions about this position? Yeah, but this one right here is a little different. I wanted to this one right here. He's a higher rated player. He played really good. I really thought that in this one I was going to have a sitch with playing him, because I thought, you know what, if I played here d5, it would allow the queen to come out, our knight. I probably could have played d5 now that I think about it, but I kind of wanted to go more into a structural game, so that's why I played e3. He played there. I'm now I don't mind if he checks here because I can drop my knight in or my bishop. I'd probably let's see, if he brought his queen in, I'd probably play bishop. That's what I'd play there. So yeah, I wouldn't play that because I'd be walking into a pin. d5. D takes. Yeah, I take there, it takes. I was thinking about, excuse me, taking on, I think the best response against, oh yeah. Yeah, that is back here, right here. Yeah, I missed that. I should have played that. I got kind of like psyched out a little bit about that. Yeah, so that's why when he played the Baco, I kind of was like, do I do that or do I not? So I went into the old line of it. I took takes, and then I was thinking about playing pawn takes c5 because if he took back, we'd be playing for an isolated pawn. But then I was like, do I want to have his bishop developed, or can I just move knight to c3 and later on I could play that, or I could check. I think taking might have actually, let's see, if I took here, then I could play there. Interesting. He'd have to play here. And that'd be interesting, playing around the isolated pawn. It would be interesting for sure. Let's see, I'm developing all my pieces. Just check. Queen. Then I castle, because I want to be the first to castle, and I did. He played there, and I was like, at this point, it was a critical position. Do I want to retreat back here and allow that to happen? Do I want to take and allow the bishop to come here? And I was like, I want the bishop to be there, so I took. And now, if you notice, he's blocked by his pawn on d5. Yes, he's attacking my queen, but I could retreat back to c2, which that's what I did. And now I'm attacking h7, which is a critical weakness. And I have my knights. We're in a closed position, and so if he closes the position down, like I drop in, because I don't mind exchanging my knight off for one of his bishops, because I have more development right at this moment. He does have the ability of cramping, and that's kind of, he retreats back. He doesn't want to exchange because he understands that he has the imbalance of the two bishops, and he's hoping someday to open up the position and get his bishops going. And the bishop that I don't have is the light square bishop. And we learned from prior games from Reassess Your Chess, Jeremy Silman, is that you want to make this piece, your light square bishop, the one that your opponent doesn't have, the best it can be. And so he knows principles of, he doesn't want to give up his imbalance, which is the bishop on the light square bishop. But the problem is where he retreated it, he had to retreat it there, but it's out of play for a while. So at this moment, my knight's more powerful than his bishop, so the trade was benefited me. And so I want to jump in here, or I want to go for that pawn. And that's the whole idea about you have to look for weaknesses in the position. Sometimes though, guys, you have to be okay with going after pawns. Like there's probably some players in the chat room that are attackers, and if you the problem though is sometimes you can't attack all the time. You have to sometimes go for a weak pawn. Like this is a weak pawn. I could take it, and if his bishop takes, I can take back with the queen, and I can win a pawn. So he has to react to that. I forced him. I didn't force him to. He could have played, b6, but that would not want to be fun because then the new weakness is the b6 pawn, and you can gang up on that with later on maybe a knight move. So he pushed onward, and now we have to look at the position. What does my opponent have? The guy a player I'm facing has the 3 versus 2 majority. Oh, okay, I'll play you once. We'll give it okay, just 1 sec. I'll go run through real quick and then I'll accept, but I just wanted to run through this game because it's really interesting. You get to see how I set up the position. I slowly maneuvered in. The reason I wanted to show you this before we played is this. I sacrificed. I did a tall-like move, and I didn't see it at first. Then I did. When he played this, that was a mistake because there's actually a way to win the queen, and I'll show you how it goes. Yeah, let's go through it real quick so you guys can efficiently. So we got into an endgame, and I slowly took advantage of a lot of his positions. I've learned a lot from watching your station, and I think yeah, that's one thing that if you don't participate in a lot of tournaments, that sometimes your rating doesn't represent how you play. So yeah, that's good to hear. And so I'm slowly attacking. He's moving there, moving up, and he takes here. He takes sacrifice pawn. It got really kind of interesting. So I checked. He moved there. I took. Now I'm threatening to check here. That's what I play. I check, and then he makes a mistake, and I made him. Okay. We'll play one game and then. Okay. Alrighty. This is good. This is getting interesting here. Okay. Let's see. What do I want to do here? I want to play b6. Yeah. Yeah, the French, the light screwed bishop's the bad bishop. No, I don't want to do that. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, exactly that. That would have been the double check for that's right. But I think let me just go back here. I think if that was played here, I think I still could have played b5. And then if bishop takes, queen takes. I might have played queen d. Yeah, I think you would have won a pawn. So that's an interesting. Okay. Castles. Hmm. Yeah. Let's see here. was not good. Yeah. Missed that for sure. Dropped. Okay, let me see here. Let's see. That's not good. Yeah, I need to. Let's see here. Not too happy about that. Let me see. It still is closed, so. Don't want to exchange off. Let's see if I can check. Okay. Yeah. Okay, dokie. Trying to see, what do I want to play here? Yeah, I want to play there. Don't like doing that. Let's see here. Drat. Very, very irritating. Boy. Ouch. Not good. Drat. What am I missing here? Boy, boy, boy. Yeah. Let's stay on this. I think this is a draw. Do you want to draw? Yeah, that was good. You played a good game. Yeah. Well, I got to log off for I have some work I have to do for work tomorrow. I appreciate that we got to play one. Good game. You're improving real good. And so have a yeah. Well, with that, guys, as Wesley So says, serve the Lord Jesus. As I say, guys, God bless. And I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a great rest of the night. Bye bye.